A heavy snow socked western Japan, but just how heavy? Well, check it out. Well, it was weighty enough to bend traffic lights and bend them all the way towards the ground. The region is blanketed in a record snowfall. Nearly 27 inches of snow fell over a 24-hour period early Monday. And actually, in the same region, there were 200 people stranded overnight on a train, snowed in. So we've got some travel issues in Japan, but we've got some travel issues in the lower 48 as well. And that was with a couple of places that we're watching, and we're going to be watching closely throughout the day. Chicago with the snow moving in, Minneapolis, St. Paul also watching the snow move in. We've got rain and the snow continuing in the west, and we will see some trouble not only at the airports likely, and of course you just put holiday travel in on top of this, and you've just got delays galore at the airport. I-94, I-35, I-90, all spots we're going to be watching closely today as the snow continues to fall and the bitter cold moves in behind that. You go in just to the south side of this system from areas, say, Tulsa, all the way to St. Louis, even into the Ohio Valley. That's where we could have not only rain, but some thunderstorms and some heavy rain at times, and that's always awful out on the roadways. We're going to be watching for some flash flooding from Springfield all the way up through Indianapolis, even bringing in areas like Columbus. So we've got a lot more watching out on the roadways, at the airports. But I'll tell you what, Jim and Jordan, if you are taking a flight from west to east, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be a quicker trip. Going the other way. All right, we're going to talk about that in just a second. It is the busiest holiday travel season since the pandemic hit. Okay, add bad weather, the sheer volume, and the odds of delayed flights can greatly increase. And we're not even talking about the COVID issues that are
No, we're not. Some airports have more weather delays than others. In fact, meteorologist Mike Bettis takes a look at some hubs where weather can typically leave you waiting.
We're on the highway.
Currently in our area, 26 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, light snow in the morning, very cold, high 29, winds light and variable, chance of snow 90%. Tonight, skies clearing overnight, low 20. Wednesday, mainly clear, very cold, high 28. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Frozen Gold is the hit series.
At the end of it, they just find a huge nugget. All right, talk about cashing in on something. How about some epic snow for this month? UC Berkeley Sierra Snow Lab has recorded 193 inches of snow for the month of December. All right? This smashed the previous record of 179 inches. That record was back in 1970. So for 50 plus years, 51 years, we have not beaten this record until this year. Now, because that snow was so deep and hard to get through, the guys that took the measurement, they walked out their front door, walked 50 yards away, and it took them 40 minutes to get there and take that official measurement because that snow was deep and it was heavy. So for all you ski and snowboard enthusiasts, or I saw someone on the ski bike the other day, those things are super fun. Get ready for some very fresh, soft snowfall. Of course, give it some time, and that snow turns a little bit more on the harder side of things. But these storms keep coming in, and so that'll be nice, keeping things fluffy for you. The numbers look fantastic. In fact, we were doing this chart a couple weeks ago, and it was like, man, the Sierra looks pretty pathetic. We don't really have much snow out there. This is pretty sad. Only 12% of where we should be on the average snowpack level. But today it's almost at 150% for the northern zone, almost 60% for the central zone, looking great for the southern zone. So the fact that we're this high is good, and the storm's going to continue to pile in. So you look at that total from the UC Berkeley that I was talking about. There's your record, almost 200 inches for the month of December. Your old record was 179, so we smashed that, and we got another storm on the way. So here's a look at the drought monitor over the past couple of months, all right? Focus on some of the deeper red. Let's take, central Utah for a moment, and you take a look at some of the exceptional drought centering right in the center part of the state. And then you go to the end of December, and we're starting to see that exceptional drought dwindle. Same thing for parts of California. We need more rain for the valley, and it looks like we're going to get that with this next pattern. Good rainmaker for the low elevation, snow for the higher elevated areas, and it's pretty much everywhere. North to south, all the way down almost to the southern end of the international border. Going to be seeing snow outside of Tucson in the mountains down there, which will be fantastic to see in the desert. But all the ski resorts are going to love this. So the overall pattern is going to have these storms continuing to slide down from the north, and that subtropical jet will help feed this in, Jim, to give us a good amount of snow and rain for the next couple of days going into the new year.
If we can keep this pattern for 2 more months, man, this will be phenomenal for the West. All right, let's talk about this, though, because with that coming into the West, eventually it's going to move east, right? And in the east, we've been talking about this record warm and moist air mass that is sitting over the southeast, and there lies the problem. So you've got a system in the northern branch, a system in the southern branch. These phase together as we go on in time. First, as we talked about, though, you just saw Jordan show you the snowfall totals all the way down to Mount Lemmon, which is near Tucson. They're going to get accumulating snow there. But we're also getting a heavy rain event for Phoenix. So if you got a little golf weekend here coming up, guess what, guys? You're going to have to work around this a little bit. But we're talking about heavy snow down to the south, both from the Europe and the GFS standpoint. And of course, heavy rain will be down in the valley locations. So there's the phasing that I was talking about. Two jets didn't come together. There was this cold jet bangs into this warm jet, and they just kind of mix and become one big storm. And there lies the problem, because now you've got a snow area to watch and a severe and flood area to watch down to the south. All this will move from southwest to northeast. You can see the temperatures by Sunday morning and how they set up. Big contrast coming up and through here. Hey, Chicago, not only have we, or at least we're trying to today, take you out of your snow drought, but we got another couple of episodes coming your way as we kind of round out 2021 and get into 2022 here. And the GFS model pretty much showing the same type of thing. We will have snow streaking out from the Rockies all the way in to northern New England and upstate New York. We're also going to get very heavy rain out of this. Where this exactly lines up is still to be determined. The GFS is more bullish on keeping the warm front down to the south. We'll see. Either way, I think heavy rain, flash flooding will absolutely be a possibility. We start this up Friday night with the squall line that moves into the Mississippi Valley. We set up a warm front right along the Tennessee border as we get into Saturday, and then we see thunderstorms break out in the southern flank of this as we work our way through the day, and they will be rotating thunderstorms. They will have all hazards in play. Just look at the upper energy coming together here. This is the phasing I was talking about. But on the east side of that, you got a heck of a jet. 90 knots or better, just driving into the southeast. Eventually, as that moves through, it will cool off. But holy cow, we got a couple of rough days coming up on Friday and Saturday.
You know, that really is, it's this time of year that we have to start watching this in the south, big time. Well, thank you, Jem. Winter Storm Elmer, fast on the heels of Winter Storm Delphine. And some of the same spots that got snow yesterday, getting it again today. How much this time, and who is too warm to see anything more than rain? Let's head to the Midwest to get you out the door. You can see St. Louis. The rain is beginning. Chicago, the snow is coming your way very soon. It could be heavy at times. Be careful out there on the road. Jordan.
Plus, 2021 to the extreme, the deadly deep freeze that brought Texas to a standstill. We're going to talk about where the state stands today as a new winter storm begins.
That just seems like yesterday that happened, right? Welcome into America's Morning Headquarters. I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori, alongside meteorologists Jordan Steele and Molly McCullum. Round 2 for the upper Midwest here. The region now dealing with Winter Storm Elmer just a few days, actually just a few hours after Delphine delivered very heavy snow, especially north of Minneapolis and in the eastern North Dakota. All right, so we're already starting to see the radar light up. And could it be, Jordan, that after 288 days, we finally see accumulating snow in Chicago?
Ooh, it looks to be so as soon as today, potentially for you guys. Now, I know just north of Chicago, we've been very, very active. Elmer looking good this morning, gonna lay down some more fresh snow after Delphine blasted the region. Look at the near whiteout conditions you had around Fargo, North Dakota. You guys, the highways were shut down. 94, 29, couldn't even get to Bismarck. They are open today, but as you can imagine, highways still covered in packed snow, ice, and we've got more snow likely as Elmer works its way into your neck of the woods. So we're going to focus on this region. I know Jim was talking about Chicago for a moment because the snow has just kind of been skirting around. Yes, we haven't actually had measurable snow at the airport yet for the Windy City. That'll change today because we're getting close to being on top of the charts for a drought here locally. But anyway, There's a look at some very good snow totals, all right? We had some spots picking up almost 2 feet just from Delphine alone. Now we're waiting for Elmer. Notice we've got the green color, which would indicate moisture-rich environment or atmosphere in the upper levels, mid-levels of the atmosphere. And all of this is tracking eastward and some of it going north as well. So Great Lakes, just basically, today's going to be the day for you. Snowfall expected, advisory levels here. So not looking like we're going to see too high snow totals, but we'll get a good amount nonetheless. Notice where that range snow line is, kind of a sleet mess here on the southern end of Iowa, on the northern end of Missouri. We've got some thunderstorms around St. Louis. Talk about an active morning for you. Cold rain, but north of that, where we got the cold front, you're really seeing the cold air wrapping around this storm system is why we've got the snowfall projected for everybody else. So here's a look at today. We're now seeing this thing slowly lift its way to the north. Minneapolis going to see it this morning. By the time we head into midday, now we're knocking on the doorstep of Green Bay. Central Michigan getting into the mix as well. Here's a look at tonight. We're all covered in snow. And then it just kind of slowly drifts out of here and pushes eastward and then impacts the northeast. All right, so in terms of amounts, again, not going to be huge numbers, but enough. We got a couple of bullseyes that could be possible. It'd be nice to see some bullseyes in the northern end of Illinois since you've been on the drier side of things. If you look at all these cities, we are in a drought deficit. Chicago, the big one here, nothing. Your average, 8 inches. That'll change today. Jim?
Yeah, Milwaukee's got a chance of changing too, and making up some of theirs. Hey, so Chicago, this is how it looks in Olive Park right now. By 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to look like this. You know, it's funny when you plan these things before the show and then they don't happen. I think that is even a better segment. Anyway, there you go. That's how it's going to look. The snowless streak in Chicago is about to come to an end here. If you don't like snow, you've been enjoying the streak of 288 days. The last time it snowed was March 15th. All right, but let's talk about what we got going on this afternoon. This is precipitation that's not reaching the ground. The air is very dry between where those snowflakes are being created and the ground, so that precipitation as it's followed through is slowly but surely saturating the layer. We call this Virga in meteorology. So here's the guidance. It doesn't show the Virga coming in, right? And that's not surprising. Usually the model takes that out or takes that away, but we see saturation occurring around 10 o'clock this morning. So this snow is going to come in, and I think especially toward the lunchtime hour, you see that dark blue? We're going to get a burst here. We're going to get a burst of snow, a half inch to an inch an hour, I think, somewhere in the metro area. Remember, we're a little warmer near the lake with the east wind, and then the farther west we go, we're much, much colder, and we'll see a lot more of an impact, I think, from that snow. By dinner time and beyond, I think a lot of this is going to be over for Chicago, but not before we finally get to that point where we've seen snow accumulating on the ground. Now, given the time that we're dealing with here, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of snow at the most, that's a lot of snowfall. So if you think about it, you're talking about a half inch to an inch an hour in terms of the snowfall rates on the west side of Chicago. So this is a high impact event. It's a little bit colder here in Milwaukee and Madison. So you're going to be much more effective with your precipitation, probably snowing at about an inch an hour in Madison as we work our way through the early afternoon and evening. So get ready for that. High impact on the roads. Plan on that. Plan accordingly. Get your errands done this morning before all is said and done. It's going to be till about 11 o'clock tonight before things finally taper off in Madison and Milwaukee. And I'll tell you, the farther north and west we go, Molly, out of Chicago, the colder it gets. We start seeing minus signs in front of those temperatures.
A lot of minus signs. And this is the kind of cold, Jim, that hurts. It hurts when you step out the door. And these are our current temperatures right now. This doesn't even factor in the wind. That's a whole different story. We've got temperatures well below zero in areas like Minot, all the way back to Glasgow and to northern portions of Montana. And then you bring in the wind, and then you've just got downright dangerous wind chills for many. Aberdeen, Bismarck, up to Minot, Glasgow right now, one of the coldest spots with the wind chill, 33 below zero. And that's where we have a wind chill warning stretching from Glasgow to Minot, a wind chill advisory, Miles City, all the way to Fargo, even back into the area of Great Falls in Montana. We will see this bitter cold continue. We're not going to see much of a break this week, just a tiny warm up. We can call it that. It's just a relative warm up in the middle part and the later half of the week, but we will see temperatures well below zero. And we're talking for you in Minot, you likely won't see a high temperature back into the positive side until we get to Sunday. So we're in it for the long haul here. And with that, we do have the threat for frostbite. frostbite can be dangerous because one of the big symptoms of frostbite is that your fingers start to feel numb, your toes start to feel numb, and you just really don't notice it until sometimes it's too late. Minneapolis, you're going to have a cold stretch of weather. Not only today, you'll feel that cold air start oozing its way in, but tomorrow we're going to spend the better part of the day well below zero. And look at this, we just continue. Jordan, I think once we get to New Year's Eve and to New Year's Day, I'm a little bit concerned about that. A lot of people out celebrating. And this kind of cold weather, not great.
Yeah, the countdown's going to be inside probably, or a huge bonfire, right? Okay, so the city of New York's getting ready for festivities coming up for New Year's Eve as that ball is about to drop in Times Square. As you can see, the workers there, they are installing the LED lights. You want to know how many? 32,000 of them. The traditional New Year's celebration still happening this year, although you can imagine the crowds are going to be limited due to the Omicron COVID variant. So you'll have 15,000 people that will be allowed in compared to the 58,000 that typically are there. So here we go. We're watching Elmer to see how the weather's going to play a toll on you folks getting out and enjoy it. I know a lot of folks watch the ball drop from the house. So either way, you are in a temperature-controlled environment. But just curious about what people are going through out there, and it's really not that bad. I'll take temperatures in the 40s, and you got the cloud cover. We're not even looking at rain or anything like that. Snow would be fun. Obviously, getting snow in NYC for the ball drop is kind of unique. But we'll hold the rain off until hopefully 2 o'clock in the morning, all right? Hopefully this thing doesn't move in any quicker so that we don't have some rain right at midnight. We are watching a couple of systems, so if you just...
Actually, they can't handle temperatures 50 degrees below zero. Where was it that Tacoma has been below freezing the last couple of days? In fact, SeaTac set a record low of 17 degrees yesterday morning, which, Molly, broke their old record by 6 degrees. Their old record was 23.
And that cute little snow leopard looks like
The man has never seen snow before, right?
Looks like he's not too sure about the cold. I don't think I'd be too sure about 17 either.
That's a little chilly, especially for our folks in Seattle. They're not liking this very much.
And the snow on top of that, too, it always makes you feel a little bit colder. Well, we want to start with the travel in areas like SeaTac, where we have delays, we have cancellations. So this is weather-related, but it's also you pour COVID on top of that, and we just have a recipe for some travel delays and disasters in spots. Los Angeles likely seeing some delays and cancellations. O'Hare, that's where we're expecting snow to be moving in, and you can see it creeping closer and closer. So far, we're okay in all the airports. These are the spots we could be seeing delays.
Well, we had snow and wind forcing the delay or cancellation of over 400 flights Monday at just Salt Lake City International Airport alone. 3 inches of snow reported with gusts around 50 miles an hour. Crews were out working hard to keep the airfield clean, clear and safe for travel. And of course, I'm sure a lot of de-icing was going on as well. So what's Mother Nature going to give us today? Because we know the cancellations have been very high over the last several days, non-weather related. Today, it's all about weather-related delays in addition to the other delays that you already had. And, I mean, granted, it's only the second year that these warnings have been issued, but they had to issue the snow squall warning. I bet it was kind of like a momentous occasion. They had to ring a bell or something like, all right, it's issued. Nearly 3 inches reported. That thing pushed through, and now we're waiting for a new storm that is going to dump. We're talking a lot of pow-pow, ladies and gentlemen, because of a couple of reasons. Number one, we've got the cold air already in place. We talked about the snow in Portland. We showed you the snow leopard video. So we know we've had snow down to the surface around the Pacific Northwest, and that cold air has been sagging farther to the south. And now we're going to team up with a bigger trough and add in some moisture with this subtropical jet. So we're talking rain in the low elevated areas, probably a good amount, but the snow is going to be memorable with this storm system for areas way down in the southern zone, south of the Four Corners region, all the way down outside of Tucson. You're likely to see snow in the mountains here. So the elevated area is definitely going to get blasted. From the Mogollon Rim, southwest Colorado, Telluride going to be getting hammered, Aspen, and then down into Taos, New Mexico, Angel Fire, all those locations, and you know the Northwest will get more. So you're now all getting, you get some. The European puts a good amount, especially up toward the Sierra. The GFS has it sliding more along the interior and not hitting the Sierra as much. So we'll see how that plays out. Either way, we are still seeing snow for the Intermountain West, which is a 2 thumbs up kind of story for us. And then once we head into the weekend, we're gonna see how far that trough digs. Because you know it comes with a big trough, right? That cooler temperatures. Does the snow come far south as well? I'll show you in a second. First, here are the temperatures for Sunday morning high, or Sunday morning low, all right? Very, very chilly. Below freezing for a good chunk of the Lone Star State, stretching across I-20. And real quick, Jim, just looking at the snow line here, it does keep it along that same angle where it stays up to the north. So the southern zone won't really get the snow, but they'll get the cold weather.
So Texas has to wait till the new year to get into winter weather. How about
Yeah.
that? All right, so let's talk about this because, Jordan showed you those two jet streams coming together, or phasing, as we like to call it, all right? And once that happens...
Currently in our area, 26 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, light snow in the morning, very cold, high 30, winds light and variable, chance of snow 70%. Tonight, cloudy skies early, then partly cloudy after midnight, low 20, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunshine and some clouds, very cold, high 29, winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When it comes to covering the most important issue facing us,
Wait, wrong. It's pretty light.